But daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm your daddy.
Let's go.
Get up on y'all. You gonna learn today.
Daddy, chill.
Call me Daddy.
Ooh. Somebody's closer. It's Elmo's world.
Oh, yeah. Do the right thing, Teddy.
Yeah, do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
I
right?
think that's our new thing.
That is our new thing.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Talking about, doing the right thing is just doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, people ask us, like, what does this even mean? Dude, it means what it means.
Yeah. If you're
right?
doing it, you'll know, right?
Yeah. I could put a post up. Say, do the right thing, guys. And then people hit me up. Like our current guest right now. I don't want to give him his intro yet. Well, wait.
Yeah.
But our current guest, right, he's like, what the fuck? What does this even mean? I'm like, it means what it means. Do the right thing. Like, I'll tell you what do the right thing actually means. Last week, we hit probably one of the biggest baseball cards we've pulled. Like,
Let's go.
On the scale of, like, the product, right? It's like one of the product hits. The Solace Superfractor Auto out of
Sapphire.
Bowman Chrome Sapphire.
Shit's hot.
Sapphire Selections. I love the cards. If you don't see them if you see them in person, it's a totally different like feel to the card. Like some people were bashing the card. I'm like, pull one and see it in your hand. And
pull one first.
Yeah,
huh?
pull one first before you bash it. That was huge because that led into the Bonilla 101 that we pulled. And when we talk about doing the right thing, I flew those cards out the next day, 2 days later, out to LA, hand carried them into high-end case break for him to prep and grade for these guys. And obviously it's not we split the airfare. I told the guy, I was like, he wanted to fly out here, he couldn't get out here. I said, well, hey, I'll fly out there to you. And he goes, well, I'll cover the airfare and hotel and all that bullshit. I said, you know what, I'll split it with you because it's good for the channel. It'd be worth it for me to go out there. Less anxiety for you.
Yeah.
Less anxiety for me. Yeah. We've already had a fucking scare over an LE Gold Auto one time, you know. It showed up. It wasn't there. It was there. It was in a cabinet somewhere. But that was cool to see because I literally flew in Monday, hung out, dropped the card off, went to bed, flew home Tuesday night or Tuesday morning. So that's cool. Like that's do the right thing. Like that's doing the right thing. Before we came in here, we had a couple things, little things. You told me Soto's at the finish line with the Yankees.
Yeah,
It's kind of big news.
That's
And I just got a text from somebody right before we went live who's a huge Yankee fan. And he said, he sent me a picture, a GIF of Soto. And I'm like, is it done? Like, it's official? And he goes, oh, it's happening. It's happening. Shout out to Jay Bacon, you son of a bitch.
Oh, Jay
True
Bacon.
orange.
Oh, yeah, he was
True
saying
orange
that
Jay
last
Bacon.
night, actually.
Yeah, that guy's juicing.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Other things going on outside the hobby, just sports related. The fucking, and this is going to be great for when we bring in our guest. The fucking injuries this year in football is just insane. And I feel like the injuries are going up, and like the so-called like safety rules and the things they're doing, they're just like adding more rules and trying to be so protective, but the injuries are just fucking astronomical. The Achilles tears, it's crazy. The quarterbacks that have gone down.
We have 7 quarterbacks. I think it's 7.
Is it 7 now?
Yeah, I saw the other day. It's 7 quarterbacks.
That's a lot. And it's leading to mediocre football.
Can't score. I mean, tonight's Patriots or
you know what they should
Thursday
do?
night.
They should put flags on the quarterbacks. All right? You got to get both flags. You just got to get both. You can't just get one. You got to get both.
You got to use 2 hands.
2 hands for both flags.
Yeah. Let's get into our guests because this could be a long podcast. It could get real interesting. It could get fucking heated. This guy has been supporting us now since I want to say early 2021. He's been one of, if not the biggest supporter financially. He's been the he's been the guy who's literally, we've probably butt heads more and got into the fucking screaming matches more over the last 2 years than any other person. He's been one of my biggest, I would say, champions and biggest fucking fucking headache. But Burnsie, listen, we had to do this, right?
Gotta do the right thing.
Yeah, we had to do the right thing. We
the
had to
right
get you
thing.
on the pod at some point. I wanted you to be in person, but we needed a guest late today. You literally texted me back an hour ago, said I'll be on the pod. Let's do it. Fucking welcome to the pod. What's going on?
Hey,
up,
thanks for
Burnsie?
having me, guys.
Yeah, you look like an air
Yeah,
traffic
we-
controller right now with that headset on.
this ain't
Tango
my-
inbound.
Yeah, I have my other headphones right here. I couldn't get it to.
It looks
connect or
like
whatever,
you should be playing Call of Duty on the side right now.
Oh yeah, it's dual
Dude,
screening.
every
right
time
now.
hey, speaking of Call of Duty, every time the new one comes out, I want to play it, and then I play it for 3 minutes, and I'm bored, and I shut it off, and I won't touch it again for 8 months. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. The Battle Royale comes out today. I'm gonna drop in. I'll probably get fucking laced up early, and I'm gonna be throwing my controller and be like, "Fuck this game, man."
Not if you send an invite over.
Yeah,
to
that's
a
right.
ringer,
I know. So we got some ringers in here.
If you need a ringer,
Right, you got to get all the good guys on your team.
Yeah,
You know,
and then you don't have
Shit.
to worry about it, right? You just sit back and
yeah, exactly.
just pick back, be bull.
I'm glad you.
I'm pretty sure bumping heads with you is like a daily routine.
Oh, you're talking about with me?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You know why? I'll tell you why, okay? For everyone out there, Burnsie and I get into it every day in some form or some way, shape, or form because his text messages get misconstrued by me and my text messages get misconstrued by him. And then he calls me, he's like, "You motherfucker, why you get your fucking panties in a wad? You're fucking sensitive as fuck. You're soft as Charmin." And I'm like, dude, because the way your text comes across, I read it the way he says it. So when I read it the way you say it, I'm like, oh, this guy's being a fucking asshole, dude. Fuck you. And then I
generally.
and then I go back and I'm like, I send the snide comment back, and then he calls me, he's like, "What's your fucking problem, dude? I'm just trying to tell you, and we get into it all the time. But in the same sense, you've been financially probably the number one supporter of our channel in the last 2 years. And I'm not saying there are other people, AMC, Scrim, several other people, but you are one of the ones that have constantly been in and out. And we did have our falling out, which a lot of people that listen to this know. You and Wholesale came after me. Wholesale wanted to bury my company and bury me, over it's dumb shit. Looking back, so it was over some dumb shit, right? You know?
It really was. I mean, we could even elaborate on that. I don't think it necessarily was just directed at you.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of really bad shit going on in the hobby. When you spend the amount of money like a lot of these guys do, like you said, AMC, Scrim, myself, all these guys, it gets old, man. It gets old, and you got to deal with all the bullshit that comes along with it. Nowadays I only break with you.
Yeah.
I don't break with anybody else for the simple fact it's just really not fun. Like,
I
come there just for the
target?
entertainment value. Really.
Was I the easy target though? Because me, Burnsie.
Yeah,
like,
because you're sensitive.
I am sensitive.
Right? You're like a big old pussy. You know what I mean? Like,
I am. You know what? Listen, I had daughters, okay? I tell people this. If you have daughters, you become this like a fucking mushball.
Yep.
And as soon as somebody like says something, and you just it's almost like they project on me. And because they're so sensitive. So when I tell, if I say something to Amelia, like, what are you doing? And she just just melts. Now,
Right.
when you text me and say, "You fucking pussy, you fuck you," and I'm like, oh, I get sensitive. And I am sensitive. Because going back to how I started this, do the right thing. I've always tried to fucking be squeaky clean on the business side of things. I always try to take care of people. I don't even have a collection anymore because I've given it all away. I've tried to do the most I can. And you were right. Back and then, if we look back now, this was a year and a half ago. Now, think about this. When people want to say that pricing now is so high, think about this. 2022 Bohm, he wasn't even ripping at this time. 2022 LE Jumbos were selling, you remember this? $825 a box. Those boxes now are like $525. I think you can buy them for maybe a little less, $500.
I mean, this is around the time where just wax was like crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, I was ripping.
You were ripping 2020 Sapphire with NorCal when you hit the wit, you were paying like $1,400-$1,500 a box for those.
100%.
And that's
not only
what,
that, there was the wrestling fucking product that had came out that that got all that exploded. You know,
$1,200 a box.
And then F1
yeah,
too,
now it's like $100 a box. You know what I mean? Like, what's funny about that product is it's my biggest profit margins ever in sports cards.
That's crazy.
Which one's that? The WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you sold.
I hit like 6 or 7 big 101s, like, and I was selling them for like 20 to 50,000 a pop. You know what I mean? When they
So
first
crazy.
came, I wasn't
I feel
holding
like
any
those
of them.
fans love that shit. Like they
love
buy
it.
into that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
They love it. Like the big ones, like if you would have hit the Rock back when this was going bananas, you probably would have got $250,000 for that card.
Jesus.
So wild.
You know what I mean? Like I sold the I think it was Bret Hart for like 35,000.
Yeah, I remember when you had that, and you were like
that.
And we were talking because you thought, you're like, I don't even know if this is a real guy. Like, I think he's, I think he's real.
I was getting these offers about the cards, dude, and I'm like, these guys can't be serious. Like, these numbers are like ridiculous, and it's just like they were real. Guy was wiring me the next day every time I hit one, and I was just like mind blown.
So is the same guy buying all of them, or
he basically bought all my 101s.
Wow,
so wild.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had all the big ones because he's like, I'm a huge wrestling fan. Like, it was crazy.
You gotta really like.
Yeah, like back then, it wasn't necessarily, there's the whole little P thing, and what's his name out in L.A. Mitch.
Oh, Mitch, yeah. Mitch.
Yeah. What's it? Bullpen.
Oh, bullpen. Yeah.
It was just there was so much dirty shit going on, and I approached the situation obviously terrible, but that's me in a nutshell, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I'll light the fire and I'll put it out later, kind of thing. Like,
wake up
hold
and
on.
headache later.
No. You light the fire, you pour gas on it while you're watching.
100%.
While you're watching everybody flee, and you're like,
You're pissing on it.
yeah.
That's
and then you're
exactly
lighting your fucking cigarette with the fire.
Oh yeah, we're smoking a whole carton.
You got 10 cigarettes in your mouth. Yeah.
100%.
No, and it was.
Yeah,
it was needed though back then. It was like when we were doing.
It changed
those,
everything for the better. If you remember this, it's like, you and Little P and like a lot of people that came together, and then there was, everybody started collabing together and stuff like that, and it really did change the hobby for the better at that moment.
Yeah.
But here we are, like a year and a half later, right? And everybody's separated. There's nothing going on. All these guys that were, these huge breakers, Mamba, all these guys, like you go in their channels, they got 3 fucking guys in there.
Yeah.
And the 3 guys are them.
Yeah,
They're
and it's the whole like foundation is so different now. You have so many people, like you see it on TikTok and Instagram, even in Instagram now, Facebook, all these guys. It's like they're ripping 2 boxes, and then they have just like all these repacks, helmets and jerseys and cards, and it's all repack stuff. And what's so great about
But
this,
a lot of the repacks is honestly what's killing the hobby too, because it's like you're going in there, they're putting an evaluation on these cards that are not even remotely close to what it is. Remember when I told you you were doing a little bit with the repacks, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea, bro. Like,
yeah, no, you did. You were the first one. And what's so
yeah.
crazy is that that one we did, which you got killed on. You bought like 10 packs, and I think you hit like 2 of the chases, and still got killed on them. But because you hit like 8 floor packs, he hit like 8 floor packs. But tough. I told everyone, I was like, this is the cost of the fucking packs, and this is what it is. Like that's the only way to be transparent. But even then, you have someone like you who goes hard, and you get fucking killed, even though there's a full like a transparency to it, right? Like that's the problem with the repacks is like it's like these smoke and mirrors.
Like yours weren't necessarily bad, but you'll go see these guys that they're taking the absolute highest comp or a fake comp, and they're setting these say $15,000 cards. A guy wins it, and they think they got $15,000 in their pocket. Well, guess what? Now it's time to sell it, and the card's worth $5,000.
Yeah.
And then
Well, guess what? They probably went and ripped $5,000 or $10,000 that night. Now they go from having a profit or breaking even, chasing, to being a stone cold loser. Like that's what's killing this shit.
Let's talk about something that that put a division between it was almost like the first wedge between us was when you hit the wit red sapphire auto, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you guys don't know, Burnsie was ripping and I want to say they were anywhere like $1,200 to $1,400 box of 2020 Bowman Sapphire, regular Bowman Sapphire. It's Witt, J-Dom, Volpe, Pena, all that jazz. Okay, you're on NorCal Sports Cards. You're fucking doming boxes left and right. He hits the red Sapphire Witt auto. Okay, and at the time, I was mad. I was mad because, and I wasn't like mad that you hit it. And this is what's put the wedge in between us, because you were like, hey, you don't seem like you're happy for me. And I was like, no, I'm happy for you. But dude, I had like if this is before you, I had like dreams of hitting that card. Yeah. Like literally dreams. Like I would wake up and be like, I pulled a fucking red Witt, or I pulled a red J-Dom. So I was, and I remember when he hit it and he called, like I saw it, I got on the bike. And I was like, yeah, like running on the bike. And he called me. He was like, why aren't you congratulating me? And I was like, I want to pull that card. Like, I wanted to pull that card, you know? So,
more.
Anyways, long story short, I want to talk about like losing. And this is like a very good, like educational thing for people out there I'm going to say the end game and then we're going to roll back. Okay. The end game is, normally the first offer is the best you're going to get, right?
100%.
This might be one of the biggest lessons Burnsie's ever had in the hobby, right? Was the Witt was the biggest lesson?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So he hits the card, expresses it through PSA, gets a PSA 1010, correct?
Yep. PSA 10.
PSA 10.
I didn't bother to grade the auto because I thought there was a small chance to get a 9, so I didn't want to have a 910.
That's right. So PSA 10. Now, mind you, after you hit that card, didn't you clear the table? Didn't that night end up costing you like?
Yeah, I probably spent $50,000 that night.
Yeah, so $50,000. He grades the card. At the time, Witt was like at an all-time high, right?
Yeah, it was peaking.
And I remember you telling me like, I want $250,000 for the card, and I was like, I don't think you're gonna get it. And then you got an offer around 150, but it was like a wax, like cash deal or something, right?
Yeah, I did. It was 150 to 160. It was back when, what the hell was his name? It was George and the other
Fast
guy.
Break. Fast Break.
Yep.
Break. Yeah, Ray.
So we hee-hawed around about this card. You know, they came at me with an offer. This is before I even got it back from grading.
Yeah.
You know, they gave me a soft offer, got it back from grading. They gave me an offer. We were negotiating, went back and forth, and then, you know, somehow the offer got lower, and I'm just like, now I'm getting frustrated. Then I came to you, and I think it was Rizzo, right?
Yeah, Rizzo came at $110,000 offer, I believe.
Yep. Rizzo came at 110 cash. I turned it down. And then I just basically held it.
Yeah.
Sickening.
Yeah, it is sickening.
Probably $25,000 now.
Yeah, if that, yeah. I mean, if you get 25,000, I'd fucking take it in a heartbeat. But yeah, and that's.
I mean, my thought process is at this point, I've stuck it out. I don't need the money.
Yeah.
You know, he is a generational talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get him off the Royals. You never know what's going to happen.
I was just talking to Hef about this on the phone right before. I swear to God, it's so funny because I told Hef, I was like, "Guess who we're having on the pod today?" And he was like, "Burnsie." I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So I call him. I was like, "Hey, you want me to ask Burnsie anything for you?" He was like, no." And then we got talking about Witt because I told him, I said, "Look at Witt. Witt's one of the only guys that the team, like, he was struggling so bad in the first half of the year." And they didn't drop in the lineup. They didn't bench him. They just let him ride it through. And he got
hot as fuck.
And then he ended up being like the second or third in the AL MVP race.
Oh, he was crazy.
Yeah.
60 steals or something
he went off. And so
I mean, the kids, like I said, the kid's one in a generation talent, right?
Yeah,
like
he really is.
Get him off the Royals. That's just a terrible franchise. And, you know, they don't want to build. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You think they'd build around this kind of guy.
Yeah.
And they won't. Once he's off of there, that card could be $100K again.
Yeah, but here's the thing, going back to what you're saying, is that not just the offer, but people pumping up the live, because I was in there. I mean, people were telling, like, and I'm sure your ego's already fucking here, right?
Oh, yeah,
I'm sure it went through the roof. Like, you're like, fuck yeah, dude.
What happens when you got a fucking horse cock, bro?
Dragging it along.
Shit drags on the floor. I gotta pick it up.
Tell your dog to itch it for you. Oh, that's kind of bad. What did I just say?
Yeah. What are you putting? Peanut butter? Peanut butter in your dick?
No.
No, but your ego was through the roof, so you were just thinking, all right, well, people are telling me in the chat it's a $100K card. Well, PSA 10's got to be at least double, right? Like in your head.
Yeah, so that was a crazy scenario too. Like the amount I was offered for it raw, and then when I get it back from PSA and it's a 10, the numbers just don't add up.
Yeah.
I mean, I was offered 120,000 raw.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
And you should have taken it,
like,
right?
Then, 100%.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even risk grading it because I fucking, and that was another thing that stirred up a can of worms. PSA charged me, what was it, 5,000 or 10,000 to grade the
yeah,
car.
it was fucking crazy.
That's a lot.
Oh,
I have, dude, it's someday when the time is right, I'm going to release the 10 emails about that Bobby Witt card.
Yeah.
Because the guy head up inside that does the pricing inside of PSA would probably be fired if I release these messages.
Oh, they've got
Like, I mean,
Let's release them.
Yeah. Live on the pod.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You gotta do it
he's
on the
trying
pod.
to compare. The only comparison was a true gold, not sapphire, true gold sale at an auction house that brought in like 60K. So obviously they do the equation, the mathematical formula, come up with this number, and I'm like, buddy, you're talking about a completely different product.
Yeah.
You're talking about a true Bowman color to a sapphire. How do you even come up with this kind of? We went back and forth. He's like, well, I'll crack it out of the slab and send it back to you. And I'm like, I already sent it in at $3,000. Like, I'm going to pay you the difference at this point. But it was madness, man. Like, how PSA, they're just fucking robbers. Like, they're the biggest thieves in the hobby.
They've done that exact thing to me, and I'm not allowed to disclose what card it was. But it was not $10,000, but it was close.
Damn.
Well, they did the same thing to you on the Holland.
On the Erling Haaland, yeah.
So we pulled him a true orange Bundesliga rookie, his real fucking rookie, Erling Haaland orange auto. And that was the same thing, is where the offers you got on that card, you were like, dude, I just spent 40 grand on a live to hit this card. I just paid, what'd you pay PSA on that card? Wasn't it like 5 or 10?
I think it was 5,000 for that.
Yeah, it
one
was
as well.
5,000. And then the guy who prepped this card, I fix
Oh my
corners. This guy, what did he try getting out of you? He tried getting 5 grand out of you, right?
I gave him 2,500
Yeah.
as a tip.
And you gave
And the little
us, and you
fucker
gave
was
me
ungrateful.
1,200 as a tip just to pull the card.
Yep, I sent you some boxes.
You
or
sent me
something,
a Prism Lamello box where they're like doing like 1,200 at the time, and I ripped it. I got nothing. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I
want a
mean,
refund.
I sent the kid like a $2,500 tip. Plus I paid him, and plus I like promoted the shit out of him, and he acted like it wasn't good enough. And I'm like,
Jesus.
God damn, kid, like fucking $2,500 is a lot of money, to some people. This is a kid that barely had a pot to piss in, living with his mom.
Yeah. This is
And it's just like it wasn't good enough. And all these little tidbits throughout the years have just really opened my eyes to the hobby and why I just kind of got out of it, to be honest with you.
well, it's a lot of it is greed, right? It's greed.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I could take advantage of this because this guy's in, and it's sad because people get taken advantage of who need money, right? They're like, I need money, so I got to sell this card. I got to get money in or whatever. And then they get taken advantage of. They get shorthanded the cash for the card, and then that person comes up. But this is the type of person Burnsie is. If you guys don't know who Burnsie is in the hobby, and if you guys don't know who Burnsie is, like look him up, because we're already 25 minutes in. This could be a long podcast.
Yeah.
Because we still haven't even got into the betting and the sports and all that stuff. But
We can
split
it into two.
yeah, we can split it into two. We could. This is the type of person Burnsie is, right? This guy hits the Erling Haaland. He gets a PSA. That one we did grade the auto, right? It was a 10-10, right?
Yeah, it was a 10-10.
So a guy gets a 10-10. Okay. He goes, I want 150K for it, right? And I'm like, oh fuck, man, this could be tough. So I find you a buyer. This guy comes in, he goes, I'll give you 125,000, right? This is Burnsie in a text message, in a group message. He goes, I'll fly you out to Vegas. We'll coin flip. You win, I'll give you 135. I win, I get 150. And the guy was like, I'm out. Like, no thanks, right? The guy sends me a text on the side. He goes, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? I said, dude, I mean, why not, dude?
In all
kinda
fairness,
fun.
it was 100 or 150K.
Was it?
That's what I offered for the coin flip.
Oh, I thought it was one. I thought it was like it was only a difference of like 15,000.
It was like a 50K discrepancy because he was evaluating the card at X amount and I was evaluating it at X amount.
Yeah, but then
I sold that
you
card
sold it, but you
for-
got a lot of wax out of it, right? I remember you were.
Yeah, I
telling
did.
me-
I did a cash and wax deal. I think I got like 110 total or something.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
That's great.
It is, but
take
I'm going to
those.
tell you right now, of all the cards I've ever pulled, the upside of that card is the biggest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Because Holland, in 10 years, he could be
That's probably going to be a 7-figure card one day.
because he could be like the
He could be-
third best
Yeah.
soccer player of all time, right?
Yeah, I
Third.
mean, he can be.
Third.
he
No,
could
no,
be
no.
probably best of all
He
time.
hands down is on pace to be the best ever.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
It's
down
not even close.
the downfall of him is that if he had dual citizenship, if he would have picked England, that guy could win like 3-4 World Cups with that team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how great that team is, even though
especially with Bellingham on there.
yeah, oh yeah,
Better
but
chance,
he's
better for the
but
career.
he's from Norway, and you know he plays for Norway.
I mean, it
So-
seemed like every time I was pulling the guy's stats up, it's like 3 goals, 2 goals. Like it was.
He
just,
crushed Salah's
it's remarkable.
EPL record of goals by like 12 goals or something. And everyone, when Salah broke the record, everyone was like, this record's untouchable because how tough defensively, how tough the EPL is. The EPL is like they base themselves on low scoring games and defensive games. And he came in and he made that league look like a fucking AAA baseball team. You know, like
Yeah.
it would be like
the guy's unbelievable.
yeah, it'd be like putting
He's
your
huge. too,
Jordan
for a
in
soccer
single
player,
A.
He's massive.
He's
Yeah.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
And he's
big.
fast. He's
Yeah.
faster than anybody on the field.
Yeah, he's
On the
He's-
pitch. My
anytime
bad.
he stops, anytime he steps on the field, he's the fastest guy for sure.
I know.